There's a common claim that the gospel accounts of Jesus' crucifixion are plagiarized from older stories about various gods from different pantheons. Ideas like this have been around for at least the last couple of centuries, and one of them involves Krishna, who is the eighth avatar or incarnation of the Hindu god Vishnu. According to skeptics, when the gospel writers plagiarized ancient mythology, the death of Krishna provided one of the blueprints for the story about the death of Jesus. Supposedly, both died by crucifixion, and since the Hindu version is older, then the biblical writers must have copied from it. This claim has been made by various writers, most famously by a fellow named Kersey in his book, The World's 16 Crucified Saviors. But we do have to point out that no scholar of antiquity takes this argument seriously. Experts simply don't give this idea any credence whatsoever. But let's examine the story for ourselves. The claim is that Krishna was crucified, an assertion we can still hear repeated today. So let's look at the original Hindu source and see what it says. The account is recorded in a text known as the Mahabharata. The hunter, mistaking Krishna for a deer, pierced him at the heel with a shaft and quickly came to that spot for capturing his prey. Coming up, Jara, the hunter, beheld a man dressed in yellow robes, wrapped in yoga and endued with many arms. Regarding himself an offender and filled with fear, he touched the feet of Krishna, who comforted him and then ascended upwards. When he reached heaven, he met the deities. So what's going on here? This text is a record of Krishna's death. It does not include anything about a crucifixion, which was a Roman form of execution, and does not appear to have been practiced in India. The account also does not include anything about two thieves. What it does say is that a hunter named Jara accidentally shot Krishna in the foot with an arrow in the forest while he was meditating. So, Jesus is publicly crucified by the Roman authorities in a state-sanctioned execution, while Krishna was killed in a hunting accident. These two accounts could hardly be more different. But this isn't the only problem. Crucifixion was a Roman form of execution that seems to have first appeared in 6th century Persia. The earliest known reference is an account in which Darius I of Persia crucified 3,000 of his enemies in Babylon. So the claim that Krishna died by crucifixion is not only wrong, it also seems to be anachronistic. Also in the Bible, Jesus' death is central to the gospel message of redemption and atonement. In Hindu tradition, Krishna's death simply marked the end of his divine role on earth, with no reference whatsoever to it being a sacrifice for sins. So when we compare the details of the stories about the deaths of these two men, we're going to be able to see the differences pretty clearly. Jesus' death is intentional, Krishna's is accidental. Jesus is executed by crucifixion, Krishna is mistakenly shot by a hunter. Jesus' death is redemptive, Krishna's is not. Jesus' death confers the benefit of salvation, Krishna doesn't. Arguments like these have a long history of their being criticized for a lack of credibility. Those who promote these kinds of arguments have a well-established pattern of exaggeration and inaccuracy, which includes not only misrepresenting religious traditions, but also a willingness to fabricate evidence. So you're going to hear that Krishna was crucified just like Jesus. This is completely false, and I doubt you'll be able to find a single reputable scholar of religion on planet Earth who would be willing to say that it's true.